Have you ever stood at the edge of your life and whispered, "If only I had the money, everything would change"? Not just a little money, not the kind that trickles in and disappears with bills, but huge sums, life-changing sums, the kind that erases worry, rewrites destiny, and turns dreams into decisions. What if I told you that the power to make that happen in just 2 days or less is not in some distant future or locked in a vault, but buried inside your consciousness right now? Pause, let that land. This world isn't driven by chance, it's driven by imagination, by the silent whispers of your inner conversations. Every dollar you desire, every opportunity you seek, is already shaped in the invisible realm. And that realm responds not to desperation, not to begging, not to waiting, but to certainty. The moment you stop chasing money and begin assuming it, everything changes. You don't hope for it. You don't wait for a sign. You don't try to earn it with strained effort. You become the person who already has it. You feel the security of it, the thrill of it, the freedom it brings, before it arrives. And that is the secret the world hides behind rules and logic. Life doesn't respond to what you do. It responds to what you accept as real. Now, I'm not asking you to believe blindly. I'm asking you to remember. Somewhere in your life, you've already done this. Maybe unconsciously. You thought of a person and they called. You felt something was going to happen and it did. You imagined success in an area and suddenly things aligned. That wasn't coincidence. That was creation. You created that moment, just as you can create your financial breakthrough if you dare to think differently for just 48 hours. So here's what we're about to do. We're going to rewrite everything you've been taught about wealth, effort, and waiting. We're going to step outside the illusion that money is distant and hard to get. We're going to enter the only reality that truly exists, the one you assume in your inner world. From there you will speak, feel, walk and breathe as someone who has already received what others are still begging for. That's when the universe bends to your will. This isn't about tricks or techniques. This is about aligning your entire being with the frequency of abundance. It's about embodying the end result, today, now, so fully that reality has no choice but to match your internal truth. You don't need a year, you don't need a miracle. You need a shift, a bold, unapologetic shift in how you see yourself, your life, and your power, because once you become the person who already has the money, time bends, doors open, and what once seemed impossible becomes normal. 2 days, that's all we're asking reality to catch up with, because once you change your state, the external world has no power to deny you. You command it, not by force, but by identity. And identity, my friend, is the strongest signal you can send to the universe. Get ready to abandon the old version of yourself, the one who waits, the one who worries, and step into the version that already has. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Because if you can live it in your mind with full belief, you'll watch your bank account echo it in your world faster than you ever imagined. Enter the state of already having it. The very first step to manifesting huge sums of money in 2 days or less is to enter the state of already having it. Not wishing, not waiting, being. You must become the version of yourself who already possesses the money you desire. And this isn't about pretending. This is about transforming your internal world so powerfully that the external world has no option but to conform. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a notification flashing across your phone. $100,000. 0 cents has been deposited into your account. Don't just see the screen. Feel the feeling. the quiet shock, the thrill that shoots up your spine, the stillness that settles in your chest as you realize it's real. That emotional reaction, that is your entry point. That is the door. That is the state. The more you feel it, the more you anchor it, the more real it becomes. But most people sabotage this. They imagine the money, but immediately smother it with doubt. How will it happen? Who will give it to me? Where will it come from? They analyze the how and kill the now. Understand this truth. It is not your job to figure out the bridge. It is your job to enter the destination in consciousness and dwell there as if nothing else is real. When you are in the state of wealth, wealth finds you. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. And you become something by occupying its state so deeply that your emotions, your thoughts, your behaviors all begin to shift into alignment. The man who is wealthy does not check his account in fear. He walks in peace. He speaks with assurance. He lives with boldness. And you must begin to reflect that character, not after the money shows up, but before. Do this. For the next 2 days, refuse to see yourself as lacking anything. Speak from abundance. Think from fulfillment. Walk like a person who just received an overwhelming blessing. Smile like you know something no one else does. There is power in that posture. It tells the universe, I already have it. And when that declaration is backed by unwavering belief, the universe scrambles to keep up. Remember, you're not making this up. You're aligning with a reality that already exists. Just as there are multiple frequencies on a radio, there are multiple versions of you. One struggling, one surviving, and one already abundant beyond measure. You are simply turning the dial of your consciousness to the station that plays the wealth you desire. That's why this works so fast. Because the shift is internal, and internal shifts don't require time, only intensity. So for the next 48 hours, drop the identity of the seeker. Become the receiver. Be still in the knowing. Laugh at the lies of lack. Withdraw your energy from fear. And when doubts arise, don't fight them. Gently return to the state. Feel the money in your hand. See your account balance. Hear your inner voice say, it's done. This is not fantasy. This is the only true work. And once you master this internal alignment, you will find that what used to take years now takes days, sometimes less, because life does not move on effort, it moves on assumption. Enter the state, stay there, and reality will follow. Make the invisible more real than the visible. Once you've entered the state of already having the money, the second step is to make the invisible more real to you than the visible. This may sound like madness to the rational mind, but it is the secret behind every quick and powerful manifestation. What you see with your eyes will try to dominate your belief, but it is your inner vision that creates your future. The external world is simply a reflection of yesterday's assumptions. What you're currently experiencing is not evidence of what's possible, it's evidence of what you used to believe. So if your bank account says empty or your circumstances scream lack, do not be deceived. That is only the echo of an old state, and your job now is to ignore the echo and immerse yourself fully in the reality you desire to experience next. What you feed with attention becomes alive. If you wake up in the morning and immediately react to the numbers in your bank account, you're keeping the old reality alive. But if you rise and greet the day with the feeling of wealth, walk as though you are funded by the universe, act as though your supply is limitless, then you begin to impress a new truth into your subconscious. This is where imagination becomes your greatest ally, because the mind doesn't know the difference between what's imagined vividly and what's experienced physically. So when you rehearse your new reality, seeing money flowing in, hearing congratulations, feeling the texture of wealth, you are reprogramming the very core of your identity. You are teaching your inner world to accept abundance as the truth, and once it accepts it, the outer world will have no choice but to echo it back. Now, people will often say, "But isn't that delusion? I can't just walk around acting like I'm rich when I'm not." And the answer is, if you want to stay broke, then yes, keep reacting to what is. But if you want to transform your life, you must be bold enough to trust the unseen. Because all change starts there. The money isn't created outside, it's summoned from within. You are not being delusional when you imagine wealth. You are being creative, and creation is never logical, it's spiritual. Let me give you something practical. For the next 2 days, every time you catch yourself reacting to lack, whether it's a bill, a thought of doubt, or someone else's opinion, pause and return. Return to the image. See yourself receiving a large transfer. Hear the sound of money being counted. Picture your phone buzzing with payments. And don't just see it, feel it. If the image is faint, return to it again and again, until it feels more real than what your eyes can see. This repetition is not about trying to force reality. It's about establishing a new baseline of belief. Once the new image becomes dominant, reality must catch up. It's law. You can't hold a new state consistently and not see movement. It may not always arrive through the path you expect, but arrive it must. So treat your imagination with reverence. Use it deliberately. Sculpt your days with inner certainty. Because in just 2 days, if you make your invisible world vivid, detailed, and emotionally alive, your outer world will have to respond. That's not a promise of hope. That's a guarantee rooted in the nature of consciousness itself. Speak the language of wealth silently. The third step is subtle, yet it carries tremendous power. You must learn to speak the language of wealth, but do it silently, not through loud declarations to others, not through begging or affirmations shouted into the void, but through the quiet authority of your inner voice. Your inner conversations create the atmosphere of your life, and that atmosphere becomes the experience you walk into. If your inner talk is still echoing, "I can't afford this, where will the money come from?" or "What if nothing happens?" then you are building barriers. These words, even when not spoken aloud, are felt by your subconscious as commands, and your reality will obey them with precision. But when you begin to shift that language, even if just inside yourself, you shift everything. Here's what most people miss. Manifestation does not come from saying the right words. It comes from being in the right state, and the words you naturally speak to yourself in that state are always aligned. A person who truly feels rich does not have to convince themselves. Their inner dialogue matches the assumption. They say things like, "It's already done. Money flows to me easily. I always get what I need when I need it." And they don't say it with effort. They say it because it's true for them. Now, don't try to fake it. Don't try to force positive words if they feel hollow. Instead, return to the state we spoke of earlier. Imagine the money already received. Feel the peace it brings. Then allow your internal words to flow from that emotional center. You'll notice they are calm, certain, even joyful. That's the language that creates. That's the vibration that attracts. Throughout your day, when you're brushing your teeth, walking, cooking, resting, tune in to your inner voice. Is it affirming abundance or echoing fear? If it drifts into fear, gently correct it, not with force, but with feeling. It's already on its way. I've already received it in consciousness. This moment is the proof I've stepped into wealth. Say it. Feel it. Believe it. Then let it go. Silence is powerful because it bypasses resistance. When you declare something out loud, your rational mind might argue. But when you speak it inwardly, from a state of belief, the subconscious accepts it without protest. And once the subconscious is impressed with a new truth, the world bends to reflect it. You don't need to shout. You don't need to explain to anyone what you're doing. In fact, the less you explain, the faster it comes. Because silence is sacred. It protects your creation while it grows. Think of your desire like a seed. You don't dig it up every hour to check if it's sprouting. You water it silently with belief, protect it with calm, and trust it will bloom. For the next 2 days, make your inner dialogue your top priority. If anyone asks about your situation, smile. Not because you're lying, but because you know the truth. You are no longer hoping, you are no longer reaching, you are receiving. And every time you return to that silent voice within, the one that speaks in the tone of wealth, you reinforce the reality that your manifestation is already complete. The world may not see it yet, but your inner world already does. And since all things flow from within to without, it is only a matter of time, short time, before the outside must reflect the silent song you've been singing all along. Drop the timeline command with faith. One of the most misunderstood aspects of rapid manifestation, especially when it comes to large amounts of money, is the idea of urgency. When people say they want money in 2 days or less, what they usually mean is, I'm desperate and I need relief now. But this inner urgency doesn't create miracles, it repels them. Urgency implies that you don't have what you want, and the state of not having only reinforces the experience of lack. You must drop the timeline emotionally, even while setting it mentally. Yes, the topic is about money in 2 days or less, but ironically, the only way to bring it within that window is to detach from the window itself. You must feel that it's already done, regardless of time. You must know the manifestation is moving toward you so quickly, so perfectly, that the exact moment it arrives is no longer your concern. Faith is not passive, it is active alignment. You're not waiting on proof, you're walking in possession. You're not checking the clock, you're affirming the outcome. You're not praying from panic, you're declaring from peace. When you speak, walk and breathe from the place of already having, time folds in on itself. Things that should take weeks happen in hours. That is the power of command rooted in faith. Faith doesn't beg, it doesn't whimper, it doesn't bargain, it declares, I am wealthy now. The money I need has already arrived. Opportunities are seeking me right now. And these statements aren't empty. They are spoken from the deepest conviction, from a place where you have seen it, felt it, and received it inwardly already. Think about the moments in your life where you just knew something would happen, and it did. That knowing came without needing to obsess over the when or the how. You were settled in your spirit, and from that spiritual position your world began to shift. You must treat this no differently. If you want to collapse time, release it emotionally. Trust your inner work so completely that you stop checking, stop doubting, and simply walk as if you've arrived. And here's the magic. When you don't need it to come in 2 days, it can. When you're no longer strangling the outcome with desperation, it flows freely into your life. That's not a contradiction. It's the hidden logic of creation. Time obeys your state, not your fear. So become the person for whom fast miracles are normal. Let 2 days be plenty, not because you're racing against the clock, but because your certainty is so strong that time submits to it. Release the timeline, strengthen the feeling. Stay in the reality of it already being yours. Walk past the need, and you'll find the money doesn't just come, it rushes in, almost as if it had been waiting for you to finally stop chasing it. Align every action with the end result. Now that your inner world is saturated with certainty, and your voice speaks the tone of wealth, it's time to match your actions to the state you've claimed. Every movement, every choice, every small decision must now reflect the version of you who already possesses the huge sum of money. This is not about acting rich in a superficial sense. It's about behaving in harmony with the truth you've accepted in consciousness. Ask yourself constantly, what would the wealthy version of me do in this moment? Would they worry about paying this bill? Would they shrink back from an opportunity? Would they speak in hesitation or command? Would they doubt the future or move with expectation? You are not here to perform a role. You are here to live a reality. That means you buy what you can with peace, not fear. You speak to others without apologizing for your dreams. You don't hoard pennies with anxiety. You trust that money is replenishing itself the moment it's spent. This mental shift in how you treat everyday situations begins to signal your subconscious that the shift is real. People think manifestation is all about mental work, but it must be embodied. Your body, your walk, your energy must speak the same language your thoughts speak. If you believe the money is already yours, walk like it, sit like it, rest like it, spend what you can with joy. Make decisions like someone who's already been paid. Even your posture changes. You stand taller, breathe deeper, and radiate a calm authority that comes from being fully aligned. The world responds to this. People notice. Opportunities arrive, resources move. Not because you're faking confidence, but because your inner state has become so strong that your outer world has no choice but to follow. Don't underestimate the power of the small. One small action in alignment with the state of wealth is more powerful than 100 frantic efforts from the state of lack. For the next 2 days, every time you take an action, no matter how minor, ask, does this match the version of me who already has the money? If not, adjust. If yes, proceed. It's that simple. And it's that powerful. In this way, your entire being becomes a magnet, not through trying, but through truth. You're no longer seeking money. You're agreeing with the version of yourself who already has it. And agreement is the highest form of alignment. When your mind, emotions, words, and actions agree on one reality, huge sums of money flowing into your life, there's nothing left to stop it from arriving. Give thanks before you receive. Gratitude is not something you do after receiving. It is the secret code that triggers reception. It's the language of the soul that already knows the gift has been delivered, even if it hasn't arrived on the doorstep yet. Most people wait until the money is in their hands to say thank you. But those who manifest it quickly understand a higher law. Gratitude is proof of belief. If you truly believed the money was already yours, you would already be thankful. You wouldn't need evidence. You wouldn't wait for the notification or the phone call. You'd feel a quiet celebration rising in your chest and flowing through your day. That feeling of appreciation, pure, unshaken, and confident, is what sends the final signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. Gratitude is more than emotion. It is a frequency. It tells your subconscious mind, this is real now, and your subconscious, when impressed consistently, begins constructing experiences to reflect that reality. Gratitude prepares the mind to expect, and what you expect, without fear, shows up with astonishing speed. Every time you pause in your day to give thanks, you are watering the seed you've planted. And not just general gratitude, specific gratitude. Say, thank you for the $100,000 0 cents that just showed up out of nowhere. Say, thank you for the financial breakthrough that changed everything in 2 days. Speak as though the miracle has already taken place, and do it with the joy of someone who's already been blessed. Some people say, but I don't feel grateful because I haven't seen it yet. That's the very block keeping it from coming. You must feel the gratitude even when the evidence hasn't arrived. You must teach your body how to feel the joy of wealth before the world confirms it. This is the essence of faith, and it's where rapid manifestation is born. To help you with this, take 10 minutes at the start and end of each day to dwell in gratitude. Close your eyes and see yourself receiving. Hear the words of others celebrating your success. Imagine the sigh of relief you breathe as the weight of financial pressure disappears. Let your heart swell with gratitude until it brings tears. That depth of emotion moves mountains. Remember, gratitude is not just polite behavior. It is a creative act. It is the final signature on the blueprint of your desire. And once the blueprint is signed in your emotional energy, the construction begins in the physical world. Fast, sometimes overnight, often in the most unexpected ways. So, for these 2 days, live in thanks, speak in thanks, walk with the posture of one who has received what others are still praying for. Because when gratitude leads, manifestation follows. Let go, but stay in dominion. The final step is both the simplest and the hardest. Let go. But not the way most people think. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means releasing your grip on how, when, and through whom the money should arrive, while staying in complete dominion over your state. You don't chase, you don't control, you command, you expect. You live with such quiet certainty that the absence of evidence no longer stirs your emotions. That's what real dominion looks like. You're not waiting anxiously for something to happen. You've already moved on, as if it's done. This is where the internal shift becomes fully matured. You no longer oscillate between belief and doubt. You don't wake up hoping, you wake up remembering. You've taken your desire, impressed it on your inner world, watered it with gratitude, and now you rest. Not the rest of laziness, but the rest of knowing. Think of it like mailing a letter. Once you've sealed it, stamped it, and placed it in the mailbox, you don't follow the postman to the destination. You don't worry about every stop along the way. You simply trust that it's on its way. Letting go is your final stamp, and when you stop checking the mailbox every 5 minutes, it shows up. But letting go isn't passive. You continue to live in the state. You still speak like it's done. You still feel the end result. You just stop resisting the flow with impatience, fear, and obsessive checking. This balance of surrendering the process while guarding your inner conviction is what opens the floodgates. The universe now has space to work. Opportunities are free to enter your path. People you've never met begin moving toward you. Unexpected channels open up. Why? Because your energy is no longer blocking the delivery. You've stepped into such alignment that creation rushes to meet you. The most powerful moment in manifestation is the stillness after assumption. The calm that comes when you no longer ask, "Where is it?" because you know it's yours. That moment, that's where the miracle begins. And so, as you let go, Release your need to control the timeline, the method, the pathway. But do not release your identity. Stay rooted, stay anchored, stay in dominion over the version of yourself that already has it. Because once you hold that version firmly, the world must bow. When you enter the state of already having, speak silently with certainty. See the invisible as more real than the visible. Align your every action with the outcome. Give thanks as if it's already done, and then release it all with unshakable dominion. You unlock a force that bends time, breaks logic, and delivers what once felt impossible, fast, not because you forced it, but because you finally became it.
Have you ever stood beneath the vast expanse of a starlit sky and felt the silent hum of the universe? A whisper that tells you that the pain, the loss, the emptiness you carried is not the end of your story. What if I told you that every tear you've shed, every hope you've buried, and every dream you thought was gone forever is being carefully orchestrated for a triumphant return? There is a divine rhythm to this existence, a sacred order that ensures nothing truly lost remains so forever. Pause for a moment and consider this. Is the ache in your soul not evidence of a bond that transcends time and space? Could it be that the very universe that once seemed to conspire against you is now aligning itself to restore what you've lost? Imagine for a moment that your trials were not punishments but preparations. Every setback was a setup for a greater comeback. Every closed door was redirecting you to a path filled with light. In the silence of your darkest nights, when hope seemed distant, the universe was not idle. It was moving, shifting, aligning. Behind the scenes of your life, forces beyond comprehension were gathering, readying themselves to bring you into alignment with the blessings meant for you. The losses you've endured, the voids you felt, they were not voids at all, but spaces being cleared for a divine return. What if your heartache was the soil in which miracles are planted? What if the very things that broke you were the keys to your breakthrough? Can you feel it? That subtle vibration in the air. It's the universe preparing its response to your cries, its answer to your longing. Do you recall the parable of the prodigal son, who lost everything only to return and find not judgment, but a feast prepared in his honor? That same principle governs the fabric of the universe. When the time is right, the same hands that allowed you to fall will be the hands that lift you higher than you ever imagined. Now is not the time to lose faith. The season of waiting is transforming into a season of harvest. The losses that once left you desolate are about to become the foundation of abundance. The pain that bent you is about to be the power that propels you. Can you sense it? Can you believe that the universe has not forgotten you, but has been working tirelessly to restore everything you thought was gone? The universe operates in divine timing. It does not rush, nor does it delay. Every moment of waiting, every breath of doubt was necessary to prepare you for what's coming. And now, as the gears of destiny turn, you are on the brink of a cosmic return. The universe is about to hand you back, not only what you lost, but more than you can imagine. Are you ready to receive it? Are you prepared to embrace the abundance that was always yours? Because the universe does not return things as they were, it returns them multiplied, transformed, perfected. What lies ahead is not a reflection of what was, but a glimpse of what could be when the divine plan unfolds. There is a moment in every storm when the winds, no matter how fierce, begin to die down. The thunder, once deafening, retreats into a distant murmur. It's as though the chaos itself pauses, catching its breath. This is not the end of the storm, but the beginning of something divine. When you find yourself surrounded by turmoil, yet feel a sudden, inexplicable calm rising within you, understand this, it is not mere coincidence. It is the universe whispering that your deliverance is near. This calm is not the absence of struggle, it is the presence of a greater force. Imagine a shepherd watching over his flock during a tempest. Though the winds rage and the night howls with fury, the shepherd remains steadfast, guarding each lamb with unwavering devotion. In the same way, when the storm of your life seems relentless, and yet your heart feels strangely at peace, It is the hand of the divine holding you steady, guiding you through. Think back to the scriptures that speak of peace beyond understanding. This peace is not tied to circumstances, it is rooted in faith. When you experience this sudden calm, it is as though the heavens themselves are intervening, preparing the way for what is to come. It is a sacred assurance that, despite what you see with your eyes, the unseen forces of the universe are orchestrating your restoration. The calm may feel surreal, almost as if it doesn't belong amidst the chaos. You may ask yourself, why do I feel this way when my world is crumbling around me? That question is the key. The calm is not an illusion, it is evidence. It is the whisper of the eternal, a reminder that you are never abandoned, never forgotten. It is the same stillness that fell upon the sea when the disciples, trembling in fear, called out to the one who sleeps through storms. With a word, the winds obeyed, and the waters became calm. That same power is at work in your life, stilling the waves within and around you. The beauty of this calm is that it defies logic. It doesn't wait for your problems to resolve or for your losses to be returned. It arrives in the middle of the mess, as if to remind you that the universe operates on a different plane, one where time, fear, and doubt hold no sway. This calm is a promise. It is the assurance that you are held, that even when the world spins wildly out of control, there is a divine order at play. As this calm settles over you, it begins to shift your perspective. What once felt like insurmountable problems now appear as stepping stones. The burdens you thought would break you suddenly feel lighter. Your spirit, weary from the fight, finds rest in the knowledge that you are not alone. The universe is not indifferent to your pain. It has been with you all along, preparing to turn your mourning into joy. This peace does not mean the storm has ended. It means you are no longer its prisoner. You are no longer tethered to the fear of loss or the weight of despair. Instead, you are anchored in a truth far greater than the storm itself. This truth is simple yet profound. What you have lost is not truly gone. It is being held in trust, safeguarded by the same force that now offers you this calm. It is a sign that the tide is turning, that the winds are shifting in your favor. In these moments of sudden calm, pay attention. They are not random, they are sacred. They are the universe calling you to trust, to believe, to prepare your heart for what is coming. The calm is not the end of your story, but the beginning of a new chapter, one where restoration and abundance await. There are moments in life when the people we once walked beside fade into the background, and their absence feels like a wound. Perhaps it was a friend who drifted away, a mentor who no longer appeared in your life, or a loved one who seemed to outgrow the connection you shared. The pain of separation is real, yet often carries a hidden purpose. And then when the universe begins its sacred work of restoration, something extraordinary happens. Those purposeful people start to reappear. This is no coincidence. Their return is a divine orchestration, a signal that the season of your restoration has arrived. These individuals were never meant to be lost forever. Their absence was not abandonment, it was preparation. During the time apart, the universe was refining them just as it was refining you. Now, as the currents of life shift, they are being drawn back into your orbit, not by chance, but by destiny. Consider the story of Joseph in the scriptures, betrayed by his brothers and left for dead. For years he was separated from the very people who had wronged him, enduring trials that seemed endless. Yet when the time came, those same brothers returned, not in betrayal, but in humility. The reunion was not merely a moment of reconciliation, it was the fulfillment of a divine plan. In the same way, when purposeful people return to your life, it is a sign that the universe is weaving together the threads of your story, turning pain into purpose and separation into significance. When these individuals come back into your life, they do not return as they were. They return transformed, bearing gifts of wisdom, encouragement, and alignment. Their presence becomes a beacon, guiding you toward the fulfillment of your destiny. They may come with words that reignite your hope, actions that reinforce your strength, or simply a quiet companionship that reminds you of who you are and where you are meant to go. These reconnections are sacred appointments set by the divine to move you forward. But why do these reconnections matter? Because no journey is meant to be walked alone. Even in moments of solitude, when it feels as though no one understands your path, the universe is preparing people who will walk beside you, lifting you when you falter and celebrating with you when you rise. These purposeful people are not random acquaintances, they are divine instruments sent to remind you of the promises written into the fabric of your existence. Their return is often accompanied by a deep sense of recognition, as though your soul remembers them even if your mind has forgotten. Their words resonate, their presence feels familiar, and their actions align seamlessly with the direction of your life. This recognition is not simply nostalgia, it is the acknowledgement of a bond forged in the divine. It is a sign that their presence in your life is not just beneficial but essential for the journey ahead. In this sacred reconnection, you may also find healing. Old wounds once thought to be scars begin to fade. The misunderstandings, the distance, the pain of separation, all are washed away by the realization that these individuals were always meant to return. Their absence was not rejection but refinement, a necessary pause in the greater symphony of your life. These moments of reconnection also call for gratitude. As these people re-enter your life, it is a reminder that the universe has been listening, that your prayers have not gone unheard. It is a call to cherish the relationships that align with your purpose, to nurture them with care, and to recognize them as gifts from above. When purposeful people return, it is not merely a reunion, it is a divine alignment. Their presence is a sign that the universe is moving, that what you have lost is being restored, not in fragments but in fullness. Embrace these individuals with an open heart, for they are not only a part of your past but also an essential key to your future. There are times when life feels like a series of locked doors, opportunities denied, pathways blocked, and dreams deferred. These moments can weigh heavily on the soul, filling it with doubt and discouragement. But then, when the universe begins its sacred work of restoration, something miraculous occurs. Doors you never noticed, doors you never thought to knock upon, begin to open. Unforeseen opportunities emerge, and with them the unmistakable sense that the tides are turning in your favor. These openings are not random. They are deliberate acts of grace, designed to align you with the life you are always meant to live. Imagine a gardener tending to a barren field. For seasons, the ground lies dormant, seemingly lifeless. Yet beneath the surface, unseen forces are at work, soil being enriched, seeds germinating. And then, in the appointed season, the field bursts into bloom. In the same way, these unforeseen opportunities are the fruit of the unseen labor the universe has been performing on your behalf. Opportunities often appear when least expected, and their arrival may not come with fanfare or grand announcements. They might appear as quiet whispers, subtle nudges, or small chances that, at first glance, seem insignificant. Yet these are the seeds of transformation. Consider how often in sacred texts, the most profound blessings began with humble beginnings: a manger, a mustard seed, a small cloud on the horizon. The universe works in the same way, taking what seems small and turning it into something extraordinary. These unforeseen opportunities are not just external, they are deeply personal. They arise as a result of the inner work you have done in your season of waiting. The losses you endured, the patience you cultivated, the faith you held on to, all of it prepared you for this moment. The universe is not merely returning what you lost, it is elevating you to a place where you are ready to receive even greater blessings. Think of the story of Ruth, gleaning in the fields after enduring loss and hardship. She did not realize that her simple act of persistence and faithfulness would lead her to Boaz, to restoration, and to a legacy that would change history. The opportunity was not handed to her on a silver platter. It required her to step out in faith, to act with diligence and hope. In the same way, these unforeseen opportunities are invitations to step forward, to trust that the universe is making a way even where there seems to be no way. When these opportunities arise, they often carry a divine clarity. They may challenge you, stretch you, and call you out of your comfort zone, but they will resonate with your spirit in a way that feels undeniably right. You may find yourself saying, "This is what I've been waiting for." Even if I didn't know it, that resonance is the voice of the universe, affirming that you are on the path it has prepared for you. These doors that open may not always lead to immediate triumph, but they are stepping stones in a greater journey. Every opportunity, no matter how small, is part of a divine tapestry being woven for your good. The challenge is to recognize them, to have the courage to walk through them, and to trust that what lies on the other side is greater than anything you could have imagined. Unforeseen opportunities also serve as a reminder that the universe's timing is perfect. When one door closes, it is not the end, but the redirection toward another door, one that is better suited to the person you have become. What you thought was a detour was, in fact, a shortcut to your destiny. What you thought was rejection was divine protection. What you thought was delay was preparation for this very moment. These opportunities are sacred gifts, placed before you as signs that the universe has heard your cries and seen your struggles. They are a testament to the truth that nothing is wasted, not your pain, not your perseverance, not your prayers. When these doors open, walk through them with confidence, knowing that they are the answers to questions you may not have even known how to ask. They are the universe's way of saying, "I have not forgotten you. I have been preparing you for this." There is a sacred language the universe speaks, one that often goes unnoticed by the distracted mind but is deeply understood by the attentive heart. This language reveals itself through recurring symbols and dreams, subtle whispers from the unseen, guiding you toward the truth of what is to come. These signs are not mere coincidences, they are divine messages, placed intentionally on your path to reassure you, awaken your faith, and remind you that the universe is moving to restore what you thought was lost. Think about how often the scriptures and sacred texts speak of dreams as vessels of divine communication. From Joseph's prophetic visions to Daniel's interpretations of kings' dreams, these experiences were not random. They carried weight, purpose, and direction. In the same way, when you begin to notice recurring symbols or have vivid, meaningful dreams, it is not your imagination at play, it is the universe unveiling its plan. These moments are sacred, and they call for your attention. Perhaps you find yourself repeatedly encountering the same numbers, like 1111 or sequences that seem to appear everywhere you turn. You may dismiss them at first, chalking them up to chance, but over time, their frequency becomes undeniable. These numbers are not accidents, they are divine patterns, signals meant to awaken your spirit. They remind you that you are on the right path, that the universe is aligning its forces to bring about your restoration. Pay attention, for these numbers are often gateways to deeper understanding. Or perhaps your dreams have taken on a vivid quality, filled with images and symbols that stir something within you. You wake with the lingering sensation that these dreams hold meaning, that they are more than fleeting thoughts of the night. They are sacred visions designed to prepare you, to reveal hidden truths, or to confirm what your heart already knows. These dreams may carry themes of renewal, reconciliation, or victory, images that mirror the restoration the universe is bringing into your life. Symbols in your waking life are no less powerful. You may notice recurring images, like a butterfly appearing repeatedly as you go about your day. It is not just an insect fluttering by, it is a message of transformation, of new beginnings taking flight. Or you might see a bird soaring high in the sky, a reminder that freedom and elevation are within your grasp. These symbols are gentle nudges from the divine, urging you to trust the process, to hold on to hope, and to recognize the signs of restoration unfolding around you. Even nature itself often becomes the messenger. A sudden rainbow appearing after a storm, a flower blooming in an unexpected place, or the calm serenity of a still lake, these moments are imbued with meaning. They are the universe's way of saying, "I see you. I am with you. What was lost will be restored." The natural world is a canvas upon which divine messages are painted, each detail a brushstroke of reassurance. These symbols and dreams often arrive during moments of doubt, when your faith begins to waver. They are sent to rekindle your belief, to remind you that nothing is truly lost, and that the forces of the universe are at work in ways you cannot yet see. They bring clarity in confusion, peace in uncertainty, and hope in despair. They remind you that even in the silence, the divine is speaking. When these recurring symbols and dreams begin to appear, it is important to take notice, to acknowledge them with gratitude and reverence. They are invitations to deepen your connection with the divine, to open your heart to the messages being sent. Reflect on them, pray over them, and ask for understanding. In time, their meaning will become clear, revealing the steps you must take and the blessings that lie ahead. These moments are also deeply personal. The symbols and dreams you receive are tailored to your journey, unique to your story. They resonate with your soul in a way that no external confirmation ever could. They speak directly to the core of who you are and who you are becoming, reminding you that the universe knows you intimately and cares for you deeply. When you experience these recurring signs, let them fill you with a renewed sense of faith and anticipation. They are not just signs of restoration, they are proof of the divine's unending love for you. They affirm that you are not forgotten, that your losses have not gone unnoticed, and that your story is far from over. These symbols and dreams are the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the now and the not yet, drawing you closer to the fulfillment of what has always been meant for you. There is a profound and sacred moment in life when the burdens we carry begin to lift, not through external changes, but through an internal shift so powerful it feels like a divine intervention. The release of emotional burdens is not just an act of letting go, it is the universe preparing your soul for restoration. When you find yourself suddenly able to release the weight of regret, pain, and sorrow, it is a sign that something extraordinary is about to unfold. This release often begins subtly, like the gentle loosening of chains that have bound you for years. Perhaps the bitterness you've clung to begins to feel foreign, as though it no longer belongs to you. The anger that once burned fiercely within starts to fade, replaced by a quiet sense of peace. These changes are not accidental. They are the divine working within you, softening the edges of your heart, creating space for new blessings to enter. Imagine a cup overflowing with old, stagnant water. Until the cup is emptied, it cannot be refilled with fresh, pure water. In the same way, the universe cannot pour new abundance into a heart cluttered with past pain. The release of emotional burdens is the process of emptying that cup, of making room for the fresh, vibrant energy that is meant to transform your life. It is an act of faith, a declaration that you trust in what lies ahead more than you fear what you leave behind. Consider the stories of great figures throughout sacred texts, those who were weighed down by guilt, sorrow, or despair but found freedom through divine intervention. David, after his failings, cried out for a clean heart and was restored. Mary Magdalene, burdened by a troubled past, found peace in forgiveness and became a symbol of hope. Their stories remind us that the release of emotional burdens is not just healing, it is a necessary step in the journey toward restoration. When this release begins, it is often accompanied by an inexplicable sense of lightness, as though the universe itself is lifting the weight from your shoulders. You may feel a sudden clarity, as if the fog that has clouded your mind for so long is finally lifting. This is not mere coincidence, it is a sacred exchange. In surrendering your pain, you are allowing the divine to replace it with peace, hope, and joy. The process of releasing emotional burdens often requires courage. It is not easy to confront the pain you have carried, to face the memories you have buried, or to let go of the hurt you have justified holding on to. Yet, as you take these steps, the universe meets you with grace, guiding you through the process with gentle yet transformative power. Every tear shed, every memory revisited is part of the healing journey, a step closer to the restoration that awaits you. You may also find that this release is catalyzed by unexpected moments of conversation that brings closure, a sudden realization during prayer, or even a quiet moment of reflection when your heart simply decides, I am done carrying this. These moments are not random, they are divinely orchestrated, perfectly timed to coincide with the universe's work of restoration in your life. Releasing emotional burdens does not mean forgetting the past or denying its impact. Instead, it means choosing to no longer allow it to define your future. It means recognizing that the pain you endured, while significant, is not the end of your story. It is a chapter, a part of your growth, but it does not have the power to dictate what comes next unless you let it. In letting go, you are reclaiming your power and stepping into the fullness of who you are meant to be. This release is also an act of love, not just for yourself, but for those around you. As you let go of the burdens you have carried, you make room for compassion, understanding, and deeper connections with others. The walls that once kept people at a distance begin to crumble, and the light within you begins to shine brighter. You become a vessel of healing, not just for yourself, but for those who cross your path. The release of emotional burdens is one of the clearest signs that the universe is preparing you for restoration. It is a sacred act of clearing the way, of making space for the blessings that are on their way to you. When you feel this release, embrace it fully. It is not a coincidence, it is a divine gift, a confirmation that what was lost is being returned, multiplied, and transformed. Let this sacred process unfold within you, and watch as the universe fills the empty spaces of your heart with abundance, joy, and peace beyond measure. A powerful and unmistakable sign that the universe is aligning to restore what you've lost is the sudden, almost irresistible urge to take action. This is not a mere fleeting thought or a passing whim. It is a profound and deeply rooted feeling, as though your very soul is being called to rise and move. These inner urges for action are not random, they are divine instructions, whispers from the universe urging you to step into your purpose and claim the restoration that awaits. Imagine a seed buried in the soil. For a time it remains dormant, unseen and untouched by the world above. Yet as the season changes and the conditions become right, a force within the seed begins to stir. It does not question or resist, it simply pushes upward, breaking through the soil toward the light. This is the same stirring that occurs in your spirit when the universe begins its sacred work. It calls you to act, to move, to step boldly toward what is waiting for you. This urge often begins subtly, as a thought that keeps resurfacing, a dream that refuses to fade, or an idea that sparks excitement deep within. It may feel like a longing you cannot ignore, a pull towards something greater than yourself. Pay attention to these feelings, for they are not ordinary. They are the language of the divine, guiding you toward the path of restoration and fulfillment. Consider how often divine callings in sacred texts began with a simple act of obedience. Moses was urged to lead, not because he felt qualified, but because the call was undeniable. Peter was called to step out of the boat, not because the waters were calm, but because the invitation to walk toward the divine was irresistible. These moments of action were not just about the individuals, they were about the greater purpose waiting to unfold. When you feel these inner urges, know that they are your invitation to step into the extraordinary. These urges often challenge your comfort zone. They may ask you to revisit dreams you've abandoned, to pursue goals you once thought impossible, or to confront fears that have held you captive. This is not by accident. The universe does not call you to action when you are already comfortable. It calls you when you are ready to grow, even if you do not yet realize it. This is the divine's way of preparing you for the restoration that is coming, not by handing it to you, but by equipping you to receive it. The beauty of these inner urges is that they are often accompanied by a sense of purpose and clarity. What once seemed confusing or overwhelming begins to make sense. You start to see connections where there were once only obstacles. This clarity is a gift, a confirmation that the steps you are being called to take are aligned with the greater plan for your life. It is as though the universe is shining a light on your path, illuminating the way forward. Taking action in response to these urges does not mean you must have everything figured out. Often the first steps are small, almost imperceptible: a phone call, a decision, a moment of courage. Yet with each step, the path becomes clearer, and the restoration promised to you comes closer into view. Remember the story of the Israelites crossing the Red Sea. It was not until they stepped into the waters that the path appeared. In the same way, your action activates the universe's response, creating the conditions for miracles to unfold. These inner urges are also deeply personal. They speak to the unique journey of your life, the dreams and desires that have been planted in your heart for a purpose. They are tailored to you, designed to draw out the gifts and strengths that have been waiting to emerge. When you feel them, trust that they are leading you to a place of greater alignment with your true self and your divine destiny. As you act on these urges, you will notice something remarkable. The universe begins to meet your efforts with favor. Doors that seemed firmly shut start to open. Resources you thought were out of reach appear. People you need for your journey come into your life at precisely the right time. This is no accident, it is the divine affirming your steps and magnifying your efforts. Each action you take becomes a declaration of faith, a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive the restoration it has prepared for you. This inner stirring, this divine urge to act, is one of the clearest signs that the universe is moving in your favor. It is not just a call to action, it is an invitation to transformation. As you heed this call, you will find that what once seemed impossible is not only achievable but inevitable. The restoration you have longed for is no longer a distant hope, it is a promise being fulfilled through your willingness to act, to trust, and to move forward with courage and faith. As your journey unfolds and you begin to sense the universe moving in your favor, one of the most awe-inspiring signs that restoration is near is the increasing presence of synchronicities in your life. These are not mere coincidences, but divinely orchestrated alignments that seem to defy explanation. They are moments when the pieces of your life start fitting together in ways that are so seamless, so perfect, that you cannot help but feel the hand of the divine at work. Synchronicities are the universe's way of showing you that everything is connected, that every step you have taken, no matter how painful or confusing, has led you to this exact moment. It is as if the unseen forces of creation have been weaving together a tapestry, and now you are beginning to see the intricate beauty of its design. These moments are sacred. They are reminders that nothing in your life has been wasted, and that the time of restoration is at hand. Imagine walking through life and suddenly encountering events or people that seem to appear at just the right moment. Perhaps you meet someone who offers the exact guidance you've been seeking, or you stumble upon a book, a conversation, or a message that speaks directly to your heart. These moments are not accidents. They are signs that the universe is aligning everything to bring you into harmony with your purpose and to restore what you thought was lost. Consider the story of Esther, whose seemingly random position as queen turned out to be a divine appointment that saved an entire nation. Or the journey of Joseph, where every twist and turn, no matter how unjust or painful, led him to a place of great influence and fulfillment. These stories remind us that synchronicities are not random events, but the manifestation of a higher plan. They are the universe's way of saying, I have been with you all along, and now you will see the fruits of that alignment. When synchronicities appear, they often come with a sense of awe and wonder. You may find yourself saying, what are the chances of this happening? Or this is exactly what I needed. These moments resonate deeply with your spirit, as if the universe itself is speaking directly to you. They confirm that you are on the right path, that your losses were not in vain, and that the restoration you have been waiting for is unfolding before your eyes. These divine alignments also have a way of accelerating your progress. What once seemed to take years now happens in weeks or even days. The right people, resources, and opportunities converge, and everything begins to flow effortlessly. It's as though the universe is clearing the path for you, removing obstacles and making way for the blessings you are destined to receive. This acceleration is not a coincidence. It is a sign that the time of waiting is over and the season of fulfillment has arrived. But synchronicities are not just external. They also awaken something within you, a sense of clarity, purpose, and confidence that was not there before. You begin to see the interconnectedness of your experiences, understanding that every loss, every challenge, and every delay was part of a greater plan. This newfound awareness empowers you to move forward with faith and courage, knowing that the universe is not only working around you but also within you. As you experience these synchronicities, you may also notice that your heart begins to open in gratitude. Each alignment becomes a reminder of the divine's love and care for you, a testament to the fact that you are not alone on this journey. This gratitude creates a cycle of abundance, attracting even more synchronicities and blessings into your life. The more you acknowledge and embrace these moments, the more they seem to multiply, reinforcing the truth that you are being guided and supported in ways beyond your comprehension. These divine alignments are also deeply personal. While they may be impossible to explain to others, they resonate with you in a way that is undeniable. They speak to the core of your being, confirming your deepest hopes and dreams. They are the universe's way of saying, I see you, I know you, and I am working to restore everything you thought was gone. When synchronicities appear, they require your attention and trust. They are not random, they are invitations to step into the flow of divine timing. They ask you to let go of doubt, to embrace the mystery of the unfolding plan, and to trust that what is happening is for your highest good. These moments are sacred bridges connecting the past you've lived, the pain you've endured, and the future that is waiting to be revealed. These alignments are the final confirmation that the universe is not only restoring what you lost but doing so in ways that far exceed your expectations. They are the culmination of everything you've hoped for, the proof that your waiting was not in vain. They remind you that your story was never about loss, it was about preparation for something greater. With each synchronicity, the universe whispers, the time has come. What was once broken is now made whole. As we journey through the challenges of life, it is easy to feel overwhelmed by the weight of our losses, the heaviness of our pain, and the uncertainty of what lies ahead. Yet, this is not the end of your story. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, is always working behind the scenes, orchestrating a grand design to restore everything you thought was lost. From the calm amidst chaos to the synchronicities that align your path, every sign is a testament to the divine promise of restoration and abundance. Every tear, every trial, and every moment of waiting has been a part of your preparation. You are not forgotten, you are being refined. What you have lost will not only be returned but multiplied, transformed, and made whole. The whispers of the universe are urging you to trust in the process, to embrace the signs, and to step boldly into the future that awaits you. Your restoration is not just near, it is inevitable. The universe is ready to pour into your life blessings that surpass your wildest dreams. Let this be your reminder you are deeply loved, intricately guided, and divinely supported. The universe has not brought you this far to abandon you. The signs you see, the urges you feel, and the peace you embrace are sacred confirmations that your best days are ahead of you. So rise with confidence, walk with faith, and open your heart to the abundance that is coming your way. Trust the divine timing and know that the restoration you seek is already unfolding. You are not just surviving, you are being prepared to thrive. The universe is about to return everything you've lost, in ways that will fill your heart with gratitude and your life with unimaginable joy. Go forward in hope, and let this truth settle deeply in your soul. The universe always fulfills its promises. Thank you for allowing me to share this journey with you, and may you walk boldly into the blessings that await you. Have you ever felt a yearning deep within your soul, a pull towards something you cannot yet see? That silent whisper, that gentle nudge is not just a fleeting thought or an idle dream. It is the voice of God within you, calling you to remember who you truly are. You see, the desires of your heart are not accidents. They are the Creator's way of guiding you toward your divine destiny. What you seek is not distant or unattainable, it is already moving toward you. And here's the most profound truth: what you seek is also seeking you. Pause for a moment and reflect. That longing in your heart, the vision that keeps you awake at night, the dream you dare not speak of, is it not alive within you for a reason? God does not plant seeds in barren soil. Every desire, every vision is a divine blueprint, etched into your spirit by the Creator Himself. He placed those desires there to awaken you, to remind you that your life is part of a grander design. But to see this design unfold, you must first believe. Faith is not about seeing with your eyes, it is about seeing with your heart. Scripture tells us, "For we walk by faith, not by sight," 2 Corinthians 5:7. This is not just a metaphor, it is a divine principle. Faith transforms your vision of the world. It allows you to see the invisible, believe the impossible, and receive what others deem unreachable. Every step you take in faith, even when the path is unclear, aligns you with the divine plan that God has already set in motion for your life. But faith alone is not enough, you must also act. Faith without works is dead, as James 2:26 reminds us. Your journey toward what you seek requires movement. It demands persistence. It asks that you keep going, even when the road is steep, even when the night is dark, and even when your heart is heavy with doubt. Each step, each prayer, each moment of unwavering belief pulls you closer to your destiny. Consider the story of Joseph, a man who faced betrayal, imprisonment, and years of waiting before stepping into his purpose. Despite the trials, Joseph never doubted God's promise. He held fast to his faith, trusting that what he sought, a life of significance and purpose, was also seeking him. And in God's perfect timing, the dream that once seemed so far away became his reality. So I ask you, will you have the faith to keep going? Will you trust that the hardships you face are not barriers but stepping stones? Will you believe that the Creator of the universe is orchestrating every detail of your life for your good? You see, the very obstacles you fear are the tools God uses to shape you, to prepare you for what is to come. The delay you dread is often God's way of ensuring that you are ready to receive the blessing He has in store. And here's the beautiful part: what you seek is not just waiting passively. It is alive, moving, and searching for you as you search for it. Like a shepherd calling out to a lost sheep, your purpose calls to you. It knows your name. It knows your heart. And it will not rest until you are united. Stay with me, because this journey is just beginning. Today you will discover the keys to unlocking the blessings that have been waiting for you all along. But to grasp them, you must be willing to let go of fear and embrace faith. You must commit to walking this path, no matter how uncertain it may seem. What you seek is not separate from you, it is part of you. It is tied to your soul, written into your very being. And as you keep going with every prayer and every step, you are drawing it closer. So take heart. Do not give up. The Creator's promise is unwavering, and His plan for you is perfect. What you seek is already seeking you. Keep going, for your breakthrough is nearer than you think. The desires within you are not random. They are divine whispers placed there by God to guide you toward a greater purpose. When you feel that longing, that unshakable pull towards something extraordinary, it's not simply a coincidence or a fleeting thought. It is a divine signal, a reminder that your life is part of a plan far greater than you can imagine. These desires are not born of selfish ambition, but of the Creator's intention, His way of drawing you closer to the life He has designed for you. Think about it. Why do certain dreams ignite your heart while others leave you indifferent? Why do some visions feel so deeply personal, so uniquely yours, that you can't shake them no matter how hard you try? That's because those dreams were planted in your soul by the one who knows you better than you know yourself. God doesn't give everyone the same vision, the same desires, or the same calling. He tailors your purpose to fit the unique blueprint of your life. What stirs your heart is meant for you, and only you to pursue. But here's the profound truth: those desires are not just a call to action, they are evidence of God's presence in your life. They are His way of communicating with you, of showing you where to go and what to seek. When you feel that pull, it's not just a reflection of what you want, it's a reflection of what God wants for you. The Creator of the universe has chosen you specifically to carry out a piece of His divine plan. What could be more powerful than that? Sometimes, though, we doubt these desires. We think they are too big, too bold, or too impossible. But let me remind you, God does not place within you a dream that He does not also equip you to achieve. He is the ultimate architect, and when He designs a vision for your life, He also provides the tools, the resources, and the guidance to bring it to fruition. Your job is not to question the dream, but to trust the one who gave it to you. Faith becomes your anchor in this journey. You may not see how it will all come together, but that's where trust in God's plan becomes essential. Remember Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. God doesn't ask you to have all the answers, He asks you to believe that He does. When you trust Him, you allow His divine wisdom to guide your steps. And let me tell you something extraordinary: those desires you hold so closely to your heart are not just for your benefit. They are part of a much larger picture. When you pursue the calling God has placed in your life, you don't just change your world, you impact the lives of others. Your success, your breakthrough, your realization of that divine dream is a blessing not just for you, but for everyone around you. That's how God's plan works. It ripples outward, touching lives in ways you can't even begin to fathom. But here's the catch: you must move forward. You must take action even when the path is unclear. Waiting for everything to fall into place before you begin is not faith, it's hesitation. Faith is stepping out even when you can't see the whole staircase. It's believing that if God gave you the vision, He will also light the way, one step at a time. So if you feel that longing, that stirring within your soul, don't ignore it. Don't push it aside as unrealistic or unattainable. Recognize it for what it is: a divine invitation. God is calling you to something greater, something extraordinary. And what's even more remarkable is that the thing you're seeking, the life, the purpose, the dream, it's not just sitting idly by. It's moving toward you, guided by the same divine force that placed it in your heart. Every prayer you've prayed, every tear you've shed, every moment of faith you've exercised has brought you closer to that dream. And as you take steps toward it, know that it is also taking steps toward you. This is the beauty of God's design. What He has planned for you cannot be taken by anyone else. It is uniquely yours, crafted by the hands of the Creator Himself. Trust in the process. Keep walking in faith. The desires of your heart are not separate from God's will, they are an expression of it. Keep going, because the dream that seems so far away is already on its way to you. All you have to do is believe. Faith is the cornerstone of this journey. It is the unseen force that bridges the gap between where you are and where you are destined to be. When God plants a vision in your heart, He doesn't always show you the entire path. Instead, He gives you enough light to take the next step. This is where faith becomes essential. Faith is not about waiting until you can see the end result. It is about trusting in the one who holds the plan. It is the quiet assurance that even when the road seems uncertain, God's promise is sure. The world often tells us to rely only on what we can see and measure. But as believers, we are called to walk by faith, not by sight. Think of Abraham, who left everything familiar to him to follow God's promise of a new land, though he had no clear direction. Imagine the faith it took to step into the unknown, to trust that every step was guided by divine hands. Yet Abraham's story is not just a tale from the past, it is a reflection of the faith you are called to live today. Like Abraham, you may not see the full picture now, but faith allows you to step forward, knowing that God's plans are good and perfect. Faith is not passive, it is active. It demands that you move even when doubt whispers in your ear. It asks you to believe in the promise even when circumstances suggest otherwise. This is the power of faith. It connects you to the unseen reality of God's will. Hebrews 11:1 tells us, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Notice that faith is not described as a wish or a vague hope. It is substance and evidence. It is the firm foundation of your belief. The assurance that God's promises are as real as the ground beneath your feet. In moments of doubt, faith becomes your anchor. Life has a way of testing your resolve, especially when the fulfillment of your dreams seems delayed. You might face setbacks, rejection, or obstacles that make you question if the vision in your heart is truly from God. But remember, these delays are not denials. God's timing is not like ours, and what may seem slow to you is actually His perfect preparation. Faith is what sustains you during these times. It keeps you grounded, reminding you that the God who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it. Faith also requires that you release control. This is perhaps one of the hardest lessons for many of us. We like to plan, to strategize, to feel as though we have control over the outcome. But faith asks you to surrender, to let go of your need to see the whole picture and trust that God sees it all. This surrender is not a sign of weakness but of spiritual strength. It is a declaration that you believe in a God who is greater than your fears, stronger than your doubts, and wiser than your understanding. When you live by faith, you open yourself to divine possibilities. Doors you never imagined begin to open. Opportunities that seemed out of reach suddenly appear. This is not coincidence, it is the result of aligning your heart and actions with God's will. Faith draws the blessings of heaven into your life, not because of your effort, but because of your trust in the one who provides. And here's the most beautiful part: faith is not something you have to generate on your own. It is a gift from God, nurtured through prayer, scripture, and a relationship with Him. Every time you choose faith over fear, you strengthen your connection to the Creator. Every step of faith you take, no matter how small, is a step toward the fulfillment of His promises in your life. So as you journey toward what you seek, remember this: faith is not just a tool, it is the foundation. It is the bridge that carries you from the present into the future God has prepared for you. Trust in Him, even when you can't see the way forward. Walk in faith, knowing that the same God who placed the dream in your heart is the one who will bring it to pass. And as you move forward, let faith be your guide, your strength, and your assurance that what you seek is already seeking you. Patience is a divine virtue, and understanding God's perfect timing is one of the most crucial lessons in this journey. We live in a world that values speed, instant results, immediate gratification, quick successes. But the ways of the Creator do not conform to the rush of the world. God's timing is not hurried, nor is it random. It is precise, purposeful, and perfect. When we learn to align our desires with His timing, we find that the journey itself becomes a source of strength and wisdom. There is a reason the Bible often speaks of waiting. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Isaiah 40:31. Waiting is not a passive act. It is an active declaration of trust in God's plan. It is an acknowledgement that His wisdom surpasses our understanding, and that His plans are far greater than anything we could imagine for ourselves. Patience teaches us to trust the process, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Often, the delay is not a denial but preparation. God uses seasons of waiting to mold us, to refine us, and to prepare us for the blessings He has in store. Think of a farmer planting seeds. The farmer cannot rush the harvest. He must wait for the soil, the sun, and the rain to work together to bring forth life. Similarly, God uses time to nurture the seeds He has planted in your life, ensuring they grow into the fullness of His vision. Consider the story of David. Anointed as king, While still a young shepherd, David had to wait many years before he actually sat on the throne. During that time, he faced trials, battles, and moments of doubt. Yet each challenge prepared him for the great responsibility of leadership. Had he rushed the process, he would not have been ready to fulfill his purpose. David's patience allowed God's timing to unfold perfectly. And when the moment came, he was prepared to step into his destiny. The same principle applies to your life. Whatever you are seeking, whether it's success, purpose, or a breakthrough, requires preparation. And preparation takes time. Sometimes we mistake God's silence for absence. But silence is often the loudest affirmation of His work behind the scenes. When we cannot see the progress, it does not mean there is no movement. It means God is aligning the pieces in ways we cannot yet comprehend. Patience also protects us from settling for less than God's best. How often do we rush into decisions, relationships, or opportunities simply because we are tired of waiting? Impatience can lead us to take shortcuts, but shortcuts rarely lead to lasting success. God's timing ensures that when the blessing comes, it is complete, perfect, and exactly what you need. Trusting in His timing means letting go of the need to control and allowing Him to work in His way and on His schedule. In moments of waiting, gratitude becomes a powerful tool. When you focus on the blessings you already have, it shifts your perspective. It reminds you that God has been faithful before, and He will be faithful again. Gratitude turns your waiting into worship, transforming what feels like a delay into an opportunity to deepen your relationship with the Creator. And let us not forget that waiting often builds resilience. Patience strengthens your character, teaching you perseverance and faithfulness. It is during these moments of waiting that you learn to lean on God, to rely on His strength rather than your own. This reliance is not a weakness, it is the essence of true faith. It is a declaration that you trust the one who holds your future. So as you journey toward what you seek, embrace the waiting. See it not as a burden but as a divine opportunity. Each moment of patience draws you closer to God's perfect timing. Remember, the Creator's delays are not His denials, they are His way of ensuring that when the blessing comes, it will be far greater than anything you could have imagined. Keep walking in faith, trusting that every step, every moment of waiting is part of the divine design. Overcoming doubt is a journey of faith, prayer, and action, and it's a journey that every believer must walk. Doubt is not a sign of weakness, it's a natural part of being human. But when left unchecked, doubt can cloud your vision, weaken your resolve, and separate you from the promises God has placed before you. The antidote to doubt is not denial or avoidance, it is a combination of consistent prayer and intentional action that keeps you anchored in God's truth. Doubt often creeps in during the quiet moments, whispering questions that shake your confidence. What if this isn't meant for me? What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? These are the questions the enemy uses to distract you from your purpose. But remember this, doubt cannot coexist with faith. Faith is the light that dispels the shadows of uncertainty, and prayer is the fuel that keeps that light burning brightly. Prayer is your first line of defense against doubt. When you pray, you are not just speaking words into the void, you are engaging in a conversation with the Creator of the sage. In those moments of connection, you are reminded of His power, His promises, and His unchanging love for you. Prayer realigns your perspective, shifting your focus from your limitations to God's infinite possibilities. It silences the noise of doubt and fills your heart with a peace that surpasses all understanding. But prayer alone is not enough. It must be coupled with action. Faith without works is dead, as James 2:26 reminds us. Prayer plants the seed of faith, but action is what nurtures it and brings it to life. When you step forward in obedience, even in the face of doubt, you are declaring your trust in God's promises. You are saying, I may not see the full picture, but I trust the one who does. Every step you take is a statement of faith, a declaration that you believe in the vision God has given you. Consider the story of Peter walking on water. When Jesus called him to step out of the boat, Peter didn't hesitate. He walked toward Jesus, defying the laws of nature. But the moment he allowed doubt to creep in, focusing on the wind and waves instead of Jesus, he began to sink. This story teaches us a profound lesson. Doubt doesn't arise from the circumstances around us. It arises when we take our eyes off the one who calls us forward. By keeping your focus on God through prayer and action, you can overcome any storm of doubt that threatens to pull you under. Action in the face of doubt requires courage, but it also requires wisdom. Not every opportunity is from God, and not every path is the right one. This is where prayer and discernment work hand in hand. Pray for guidance, and then move forward in faith, trusting that God will redirect you if necessary. The key is to keep moving. Doubt thrives in stagnation, but it cannot survive in the presence of forward motion. Each step you take weakens doubt's grip and strengthens your faith. Doubt also loses its power when you remind yourself of God's faithfulness. Look back on your life and recall the times when He came through for you, when He answered your prayers in ways that exceeded your expectations. These memories are not just moments of the past, they are testimonies of God's unchanging nature. If He was faithful then, He will be faithful now. Recalling His goodness is like building a fortress of faith that doubt cannot penetrate. Another powerful tool in overcoming doubt is surrounding yourself with the right people. The company you keep can either feed your faith or fuel your fears. Seek out those who will encourage you, pray with you, and remind you of God's promises. Their words of affirmation and acts of support can be a lifeline when doubt threatens to overwhelm you. And finally, remember that overcoming doubt is not a one-time event, it is a daily choice. Each morning you must decide to trust God anew, to surrender your fears, and to step forward in faith. Some days will be easier than others, but every day is an opportunity to grow closer to the Creator and to reaffirm your belief in His plan for your life. Doubt may knock at your door, but you do not have to let it in. Through prayer, action, and a steadfast focus on God, you can overcome even the strongest waves of uncertainty. Keep moving forward, knowing that the promises He has made to you are unshakable, and that His plans are always for your good. Trust Him, act in faith, and let doubt become a stepping stone on your journey to what you seek. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in the spiritual journey. It is not merely an emotion but a deliberate choice, a perspective that transforms how we see the world and our place in it. Gratitude has the power to shift the atmosphere of your life, turning moments of despair into opportunities for growth, challenges into stepping stones, and waiting periods into seasons of preparation. It is the language of faith, the expression of a heart that trusts in God's provision, even when the blessings are not yet visible. When you embrace gratitude, you align yourself with God's will. The Bible says, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Notice that it doesn't say to give thanks only when things are going well. It commands us to give thanks in all circumstances. Why? Because gratitude acknowledges God's sovereignty. It is a declaration that He is in control, that His plans are good, and that His timing is perfect. Gratitude is not about denying the difficulties you face. It's about choosing to see God's hand even in the midst of those difficulties. When you thank Him for what He has already done, you reinforce your faith in what He will do. Gratitude magnifies the good and minimizes the bad, allowing you to focus on the blessings that surround you rather than the obstacles in your way. It's like adjusting the lens of a camera. Gratitude brings the beauty of God's work into sharper focus. Imagine you are praying for a breakthrough, a new job, a restored relationship, or clarity in a difficult decision. It's easy to focus solely on what you don't have yet, to let frustration and impatience creep in. But what happens when you shift your mindset? What happens when, instead of dwelling on what you're waiting for, you start thanking God for what you already have? Suddenly your perspective changes. You realize that the same God who provided for you yesterday is the one guiding your steps today and preparing your blessings for tomorrow. Gratitude also has a magnetic power. When you thank God for what you have, you open your heart to receive even more. It's not about manipulating blessings or trying to earn God's favor. It's about creating an environment where faith can flourish. Gratitude reminds you of God's faithfulness, which builds your trust in Him and strengthens your relationship with Him. And as your faith grows, so does your capacity to receive and steward the blessings He has in store for you. One of the greatest examples of gratitude in the Bible is the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000. Before multiplying the loaves and fish, Jesus gave thanks. He didn't focus on the insufficiency of the resources at hand. He focused on God's ability to provide. That simple act of gratitude turned scarcity into abundance, a miracle that not only met the immediate needs of the people, but also left an overflow of blessings. The lesson is clear: gratitude unlocks the miraculous. Gratitude also strengthens your spirit during times of waiting. When the answers to your prayers seem delayed, it's tempting to grow weary and discouraged. But thanking God in advance for the blessings yet to come is a powerful act of faith. It's a way of saying, Lord, I trust you. I may not see it yet, but I know you are working all things together for my good. Gratitude in the waiting shows God that your faith is not dependent on circumstances but rooted in His character. Practicing gratitude doesn't require grand gestures or perfect conditions. It begins with small intentional steps. Start by listing 3 things you're thankful for every morning, no matter how simple they may seem. Thank Him for the breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, or the relationships that bring you joy. As you cultivate this habit, you'll find that your perspective begins to shift. Gratitude becomes not just an action but a way of life, an attitude that colors everything you do. Another powerful way to practice gratitude is through worship. When you lift your voice in praise, you are declaring God's goodness, not because everything in your life is perfect, but because He is perfect. Worship magnifies the presence of God in your life, reminding you of His greatness and drawing you closer to Him. It transforms your focus from your problems to His power, from your struggles to His strength. Gratitude also impacts the people around you. When you live with a thankful heart, it becomes contagious. Your attitude of gratitude inspires others to see God's goodness in their own lives. It creates an atmosphere of joy and faith, fostering a sense of community that reflects God's love. As you journey toward what you seek, let gratitude be your compass. Thank God for what you have, for what He has done, and for what He has yet to do. Gratitude is the bridge that connects your present to your future, reminding you that every blessing, every breakthrough, and every answered prayer is a testament to His faithfulness. Keep thanking Him, keep trusting Him, and watch as gratitude transforms your heart and your life. Perseverance is the lifeblood of faith, the unyielding force that keeps you moving forward when every voice around you screams to give up. It is the quality that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. In the spiritual journey, perseverance is more than just a display of willpower, it is a profound act of trust in God. It says, even when I cannot see the finish line, I will keep walking because I know the one who guides me. Life is filled with challenges, and the path to what you seek will not always be smooth. There will be moments of resistance, setbacks, and times when you feel as though you are standing still. But remember, this perseverance is not about avoiding challenges, it is about confronting them with the assurance that God is working through them. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity for growth, a tool that God uses to refine your character and prepare you for the blessings ahead. Consider the story of Job, a man who endured unimaginable loss and suffering. He lost his family, his wealth, and his health, yet he remained steadfast in his faith. Job's perseverance was not rooted in his own strength, but in his unwavering belief in God's goodness. Even when he didn't understand why he was suffering, he trusted that God had a purpose. And in the end, his perseverance was rewarded abundantly. The Bible says, the Lord blessed the latter part of Job's life more than the former part, Job 42:12. Job's story is a reminder that perseverance leads to restoration, that God's plans for us are always greater than what we can imagine. Perseverance requires a deep commitment to the vision God has placed in your heart. It means continuing to take steps forward, even when the way ahead is unclear. It means showing up every day, doing the work, and trusting that God is orchestrating everything for your good. This commitment is not fueled by sheer determination alone. It is sustained by prayer, by staying connected to God's word, and by leaning on His strength. When you persevere, you are aligning yourself with one of God's most profound principles, the principle of sowing and reaping. Galatians 6:9 tells us, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Every act of faith, every step of obedience, and every moment of perseverance is a seed planted in the soil of God's promises. The harvest may not come immediately, but it is guaranteed by His word. Your job is to keep planting, to keep nurturing, and to trust that the harvest will come in His perfect timing. Perseverance is also a testament to the power of endurance. It is easy to stay faithful when things are going well, but true perseverance is revealed in the trials. James 1:2-4 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." The trials are not punishments, they are opportunities for growth. They stretch you, strengthen you, and draw you closer to God. In moments when perseverance feels impossible, turn to God in prayer. Pour out your heart to Him, share your struggles, and ask for His strength. The Bible assures us that His grace is sufficient for us, that His power is made perfect in our weakness, 2 Corinthians 12:9. You are not expected to persevere on your own. God is with you every step of the way, equipping you with the strength and courage you need to keep going. Another key to perseverance is surrounding yourself with a community of faith. When the journey becomes overwhelming, lean on those who can encourage you, pray for you, and remind you of God's promises. The Bible speaks of the power of fellowship, saying, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another," Proverbs 27:17. Your journey is personal, but it is not meant to be walked alone. God places people in your life to support you, to uplift you, and to help you persevere. Perseverance is not just about enduring, it is about thriving in the process. It is about choosing to see every challenge as a stepping stone, every delay as a lesson, and every setback as an opportunity for a comeback. It is about staying faithful to the calling God has placed on your life, no matter how difficult the road may seem. As you press forward, keep your eyes on the prize. Remember that God's promises are worth the struggle, that His plans for you are worth the effort. Perseverance is not just about reaching the destination, it is about becoming the person God has called you to be along the way. Keep going, keep trusting, and keep believing. The rewards of perseverance are not just in the blessings you receive, but in the transformation that takes place within you. Recognizing and seizing divine opportunities is a vital part of walking in faith and fulfilling the purpose God has placed on your life. Opportunities are not always wrapped in obvious packaging, nor do they always arrive at convenient times. Many of God's greatest blessings come disguised as challenges, interruptions, or unexpected moments that require discernment, faith, and action. Recognizing these opportunities is not just a matter of luck or chance, it is a skill cultivated through prayer, spiritual awareness, and an unwavering trust in God's plan. Every day, God presents you with opportunities. Some are small, seemingly insignificant moments that test your faithfulness in the little things. Others are monumental, life-altering doors that require boldness and courage to walk through. The key is to remain attuned to His voice, to keep your heart open to His leading, and to trust that He is working all things together for your good. The story of Esther offers a profound example of recognizing and seizing divine opportunities. As a young woman, Esther likely did not envision herself as a queen, let alone as the savior of her people. But when the opportunity arose to step into her God-ordained role, she did not hesitate. She recognized the moment as divine, as evidenced by Mordecai's words, "Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" Esther 4:14. Esther's courage and faith in seizing that opportunity not only changed her life but also saved an entire nation. Opportunities often require preparation. God rarely calls you to something without first equipping you for it. The trials you face, the lessons you learn, and the skills you acquire along the way are all part of His divine preparation. When David stepped onto the battlefield to face Goliath, he wasn't unprepared. The years he spent tending sheep, defending them from lions and bears, had equipped him with the courage and skill he needed. David recognized that the opportunity to face Goliath was not an accident, it was a culmination of God's preparation in his life. Sometimes recognizing a divine opportunity means stepping out of your comfort zone. God's plans for you are often bigger than what you can see or imagine. They stretch you, challenge you, and require a level of faith that may feel uncomfortable at first. But this discomfort is a sign that God is calling you to grow, to step into a new level of trust and obedience. Remember the story of Peter stepping out of the boat to walk on water. The opportunity to experience the miraculous was there, but it required Peter to leave the safety of the boat and trust Jesus completely. Recognizing opportunities also requires patience and discernment. Not every open door is from God, and not every opportunity is meant for you. This is why prayer and spiritual discernment are so critical. Seek God's guidance in every decision, asking Him to reveal His will and to give you the wisdom to recognize His hand at work. The Bible promises in James 1:5, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you." Trust that He will guide you and close the doors that are not meant for you, while opening the ones that align with His purpose. Seizing divine opportunities often requires boldness. Fear and doubt may try to hold you back, but God does not give you a spirit of fear. Instead, He equips you with power, love, and self-discipline, 2 Timothy 1:7. When the opportunity comes, step forward with confidence, knowing that the Creator of the universe is with you. His plans for you are not plans of harm, but of hope, and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Even when the path seems uncertain, trust that He has already gone ahead of you to prepare the way. Gratitude plays a key role in seizing opportunities as well. When you recognize the hand of God in your life, it becomes easier to act in faith. Thank Him for the doors He opens, even when they don't look the way you expected. Gratitude shifts your focus from fear to faith, reminding you that every opportunity is a gift from a loving Father who desires the best for you. Finally, seize opportunities with humility and a servant's heart. Divine opportunities are not just about personal gain, they are about fulfilling God's purpose in your life and impacting others for His glory. Jesus Himself said, "Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant," Matthew 20:26. When you approach each opportunity with a willingness to serve, you align yourself with the heart of God, and He blesses your efforts abundantly. As you move forward in faith, keep your heart open, your spirit attuned, and your hands ready to act. Divine opportunities are all around you, waiting for you to recognize them and step into the fullness of God's plan. Trust in His timing, seek His wisdom, and move boldly when He calls. Every opportunity seized in faith brings you closer to the life He has designed for you, a life of purpose, fulfillment, and impact. Keep going, for what you seek is seeking you, and the doors God opens are always the right ones. As we come to the end of this journey together, let me leave you with this powerful truth: the desires in your heart, the dreams you hold so dearly, are not separate from God's plan for your life. They are His whispers, His divine instructions, calling you to a purpose greater than anything you can imagine. What you seek is not distant or unattainable, it is already moving toward you, guided by His perfect timing and orchestrated by His infinite wisdom. Your faith is the bridge, your patience the foundation, your gratitude the fuel, and your perseverance the driving force. These principles are not just ideas, they are spiritual tools, gifts from the Creator to help you walk boldly in the direction of your purpose. The path may not always be clear, the journey may not always be easy, but remember, the one who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it. God has equipped you with everything you need to succeed. He has placed the right people, the right opportunities, and the right lessons along your path. Your role is to trust Him, to walk in faith, and to never lose sight of the fact that the very thing you are seeking is also seeking you. Every prayer, every step, and every act of obedience draws you closer to the fulfillment of His promises. So as you leave this moment, I urge you to take action. Let this not just be another message you hear, but a catalyst for change in your life. Reflect on the desires God has placed in your heart. Ask yourself, how can I align my faith, my actions, and my spirit with His divine plan? How can I move forward, even when the road feels uncertain? How can I trust that His timing is perfect, even when I feel like giving up? You are not alone in this journey. The Creator of the universe walks with you, guides you, and strengthens you. Keep your eyes on Him. Keep your heart open to His whispers, and keep going no matter what challenges arise. For what you seek is already seeking you, and in His perfect time, everything will align. Thank you for joining me on this journey. May you walk forward in faith, filled with hope, and anchored in God's promises. Your best days are ahead. Keep going, and may God bless you abundantly on your path to purpose.